So, super unpopular opinion by me, I'm not surprised, is that I don't think things like WWE Unreal are, all that bad. I don't think they're all the way the Antichrist in in wrestling form, the way that people kind of want it to be. And I say that for a few reasons, and I guess we'll kind of rant and ramble here for that. Because why not? Let's talk about it. Kayfabe, it was a really interesting thing back in the day where you protected the business by pretending everything was 100% real. And in that time, or in that era, it had to be infinitely easier to do that. These personas, these bigger than life storylines and angles, you could really go from state to state and duck out of the way and just kind of keep up appearances. But in today's day and age, where there's social media and there's so much behind the scenes footage and everything is like a accidental YouTube recommended video away, it's not possible to keep up that level of kayfabe, right? But I don't think kayfabe is like dead. I think it's just kind of changed forms. We've got all the behind the scenes footage and interviews and podcasts and people popping up and spilling the beans and everything. Like, yeah, the information is out there if someone really cared enough to want to find it. And through enough means that WWE has these days, they can still kind of play with it a little bit. I want to say, like, they can kind of they can kind of try. Like, if you have enough emotional investment with the storyline, or if you present something cinematically enough, or you get enough crowd reactions, or you get people to sort of suspend at disbelief, even if it's just for a moment, and like you do long-term storytelling with payoffs that like feel like something, I feel like even though people know wrestling is scripted and predetermined and whatnot, they'll still appreciate the product and still be in that world. Like, you're not really taking people out of the world by opening up the doors to more people, right? And I feel like, especially for people like me, who I was a fan of wrestling, and I had my Santa Claus isn't real moment when I was a lot younger, but I still like came in and watched just because like I appreciated the art form. I feel like things like WWE Unreal and all these behind the scenes things can actually deepen a fan's appreciation for wrestling, opposed to ruining the magic. And I know that's a statement that people say a lot, like, oh, everyone's the magic. But for people like me who had the magic initially ruined by hearing, oh, they're not really fighting over custody of Dominic Mysterio, or they're not really going to force this lady to get married if this guy wins a wrestling match. When that magic was ruined for me, I got an appreciation many years later to see like how they put it all together. Like, how were you able to work these crazy ass schedules? How did you make getting hit by a chair look so real? Spoiler alert, it fucking was. The behind the scenes documentaries, the production footage, they have footage of fucking everything, by the way. It's crazy. And the discussions on like how they pulled off certain spots, or like how they put together a match in like 20 minutes before the thing. The shit like that is fascinating to me. I like that a lot more than watching the actual product these days, actually. And I've expressed that in like some of our reactions some of the times where it's like, I could watch it like this all day. I can't sit and watch wrestling matches all day. I can't do that. I'm so impressed with the effort that goes into wrestling. I know I'm not the only person who feels that way, where it's like, now that I know how the sausage is made, I want to see you make more. Maybe that's just the way I gotta phrase it. Maybe that's a nasty, gross phrase, but seeing planning behind the scenes and the match layouts, or like character work, and how they might get to a certain spot, anticipating how fans are gonna react, and then seeing it actually happen, that's cool to me. It's really cool to see it as a creative. You probably don't think I'm a very creative person because it's a reaction channel, but I do creative shit sometimes. You'll never know. Shut up. I think I think modern fans have learned to appreciate wrestling as both like the story and as an art form. You know, like that story not so much being the work or like the character shit, like the character story, but the story being like how do we make this show a memorable one? How do we make the show, you know, better than the last one we did? How do we get them to keep on watching by, you know, stepping up our ring work? Like that and the art form itself combined, I think modern fans have grown to respect and appreciate that through something like Unreal. And lifers probably hate it, and I get it, but I don't think it's as bad as one would like to one would like to say. I think the real danger for something like Unreal or like these podcasts or, you know, the washed up wrestlers that are telling their side of things on YouTube and shit. I think the danger comes from like overexposure, not transparency. There's a difference. There's nothing wrong, or like the issue isn't really with showing the behind the scenes content. It's when, you know, a character probably constantly breaks character to reduce every feud to like, oh, it's just business. Or, you know, if we reveal too much too often, the emotional stakes disappear because we know at the end of the day these guys are friends. They go out and eat dinner with each other, and you know what I mean? Like the overexposure aspect of it makes it so it's like, well, you're making it so the platform and the art form is like, well, this ain't what this ain't what I signed up for. Like, when you do this shit right, when you got it right, the illusions that the rivalries emotionally matter, that puts it all together. That strings everything together, makes the whole fucking thing work. Because if we're not buying the illusion anymore, if you can't, you know, distract us from the fact that we know, you know, a wrestler is not even using their real name, you're a whole other person in a different in promotion. Like if we can't even take our brains off that, then you know. So I don't know. I genuinely think a thing like WWE Unreal is not as bad as people are making it to be. I'm fascinated with a lot of this shit. Like I'll watch episodes of Dark Side of the Ring with chat on stream and then be like, yo, I had no idea any of this shit was going on. Or like that's what they had to do to force it to that match. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. I'm not here to change your mind, though. Let me know how you feel about it down below. I know some of you guys are, like, very, very passionate about, you know, the standing of kayfabe. Or what little bit of it that remains. I don't think it's as harmful as we all initially thought, though. Let me know. I've also got a free Patreon with over 200 hours of bonus content that you can check out for free in the description, so check that out if you want some bonus content. And I will see you in the very next video. Do not be weird. I mean it. Don't be weird. Thank you so much to those of you that have made it over to the Patreon. I appreciate you.
Trouble, that's me. Cherry lips and bad energy. Say it once, say it twice, and I'll give it to you all night. I'm your bad, your bad advice.